Like, I'm interacting with another person. What happens? What if I fall in love with them? What if I like it better than him? You know?
So what if you decline the thing? I do not want you to do this. Like,
we would have to break up. Because I love him very much. He's my best friend. There's right and wrong, ultimately.
You see, things used to be so simple, which is to be right and wrong.
You've been attacked, so what's your take on aliens? That I'm curious to hear.
I think, okay, so...
do you believe in ghosts? But to say that the stuff that don't make sense, we just can't observe.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, we only have...
I'm with you, but I'm not with you.
You're connecting in the quantum field. Like, you're so straight, and like, I was offended, but I didn't know why, because I was like, yeah, I'm straight, but then now I know why, because I wasn't. But yeah, so I haven't really had much interaction, and it's on my list of to-dos. It's like, find queer friends.
Is it hard to find queer friends?
Well, COVID, like, literally we've been so isolated, so it's like the only time I've had interaction, like, I got Tinder and I went on a date with a girl, and yeah, that's as far as it's gone, actually. Like, so yeah, I'm looking forward to finding my space in the queer community. Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier the only, or at least the fooling around before then was with girls, right? Was when you were not sober, all right? Yes. So how did that experience change when you were sober? And
I had so the only sober experience I've had was the date that I
so how was that? Could you tell us about that experience?
Sheesh, it was.
Oh, you were.
Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, it's different.
Yeah,
like, I think I'm so used to the duality of like masculine and feminine.
Yeah.
And now it's like too feminine. Also, because the kind of girls that I'm into are like feminine, like me. Like, you usually get
that dichotomy between the two. Yeah,
like, it's more like the other partners like more
masculine. Yeah,
but for me it's like I'm like a mirror image of myself. It's like yeah.
So bestie.
Nah, let's not go to the sister part. Yeah, that's just pushing it.
That's pushing it. He just looks just like me. But so yeah, that's interesting. Like the two feminine energies, and I liked it. I think it's really refreshing, and yeah, I look forward to having more experience.
So, any girls out there, give us details at the
what was your, just sorry, it might be a bit invasive, you don't have to answer, but what was your boyfriend's take when you're like, okay, cool, I'm going on my first date with
I was
so sweet. He was like, do you need money?
because it was a girl. That's not getting the point here. So not getting the point here.
Yeah, although I think there is definitely some fear and doubt in him, because it is like, I'm interacting with another person. What happens? What if I fall in love with them? What if I like it better than him? You know, so I definitely don't think it's all hunky-dory and him just being like, oh yeah, girl on girl action. He's just like respectful and encouraging. And
so what if you decline the thing? I do not want you to do this. Like,
we would have to break up, because that means
So that's basically a hard line.
So it's a really a big thing for you.
Yeah, it's like it's my identity, you know, and I'm at the point, because of like all those years of being like my autonomy and agency taken away. It's really important for me to stand fast in what I care about and who I am, and to stay true to that.
Oh, good.
Clinical psychology. Yes. That I'm curious to know.
Yeah, so at this point, I think I'd like to be clinical psychologist or a neuropsychologist. But the reason for that is I'm very interested in pathology and just how the brain works, and like what treatments are suitable for what kind of disorders. And yeah, I think because of my own struggles with mental health, I'm very fascinated with healing, and I just want to learn like everything there is to know about human beings and their conditions and what we can do to help them, because I feel like the You want to say something?
Yeah, does therapy fall under that?
Therapy, yeah.
Okay, so it falls under.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 100%. So you would, as a clinical psychologist, you would work in a medical environment, so like a hospital, or you would have your own practice and then that would be kind of like basically going for therapy sessions and
I know earlier we spoke about the whole high conscious. Tell us more on that.
So I think, do you want the long answer?
Go for the long answer.
Okay.
Still got an hour.
I think, alright, so there's the source or God or whatever you want to call it. And it wanted to know itself. So it's split. And basically we are the pieces of it. Like that is the purpose of us being here. And
So basically breaking off, coming back to like singularity again.
Yes, 100%, because everything is a cycle, like day, night, seasons, and that's essentially our cycle is to come here, have this experience, evolve, reach a higher consciousness, and then I don't know what happens after that. It's the big question. Everyone wants to know where you go when you die. I think you either if you've fulfilled what you needed to in terms of your expansion to get to higher consciousness, you go back to source, or you reincarnate and then you come back. Your energy comes back because you didn't complete and you didn't come on, Ray.
What fulfill?
Yeah, you didn't fulfill what was supposed to happen on your unfolding. Yeah. So yeah, that's the T on high.
What's that branch of thinking called? Is there? First time I'm hearing it. I mean, it's closely related to the whole Buddhism, the whole Buddhism thing. I mean, some that of the incarnation and all.
I would call it, spirituality. There is the teacher that I listen to the most, that I get most of this information from, Eckhart Tolle. He speaks of like a bunch of different religions, like there's mention of Allah, of Jesus, of Buddha. I believe like essentially all of the prophets they're speaking the universal truth, just in a different way, because we're all different. There's different cultures, and so each one has its own expression. But I believe it stems from the universal truth that we all have inside of us, because we are of source, we are of God.
I mean, she remind me going back, I think my grade 12 English teacher, because what she used to share this belief, I can't remember what it was again, I can't remember the name, starts with a P, and not pushing P. And pushing it P. Had to do with a whole of where she said basically God is in everything. So she would say
God isn't everything.
God is in everything.
Oh, is in everything.
So I was just thinking whether there was a correlation between those two, because she was like, okay, when I see the birds, when I see the tree, and then that represents God. 100%. I was just trying to can't remember the word for that. Yeah, but have you heard of the term Annunaki before? Annunaki. No. Oh, okay. Because I kind of do a bit of this reading, and that all goes back to the whole spiritual aspect of it. But I mean, Annunaki will be a whole long it's like a whole, the spiritual talks, they go deep. Exactly. It's like deep. Like I spent like 3 days on this whole topic, but you should check it out. However, there was one way of the higher conscious and the beings connecting into one, where there is this the story of, the stuff do get out, goes far-fetched. But anyway, there was a colony in Mars, and then there was a colony, he's already lost there. Yeah, you gotta be open-minded when you start going to these things.
Now I'm into aliens.
Yeah, you see that? There you go. She's into aliens.
Oh, what?
Yes.
No, it was Lavito, what's her name? Yeah, she said you can't call them aliens. Politically incorrect term. Extraterrestrial. Yeah, but you see, now that's when you're pushing things at that point. I think most people
See,
like
that's what
that.
I'm saying. It goes back so many times for so many things. And people get lost, you know.
Well, I suppose alien because alien means like far extraterrestrial. Yeah, alien makes sense though because alien in itself means unknown. Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna keep saying it.
But yeah, so what's your take on aliens? That I'm curious to hear.
I think so.
But first, but do you believe in ghosts?
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm usually fascinated by someone who says they don't believe in ghosts, but they believe in aliens.
I believe. Right, we're human beings. We have five senses.
Mm-hmm.
We perceive our brains and our bodies construct our reality based on those five senses, right? A bat has totally different senses.
Woman has 6 senses.
Oh, what's the sixth thing?
What?
Intuition.
I was about to say intuition. We actually all have intuition.
Yeah, the bat, more senses.
Oh yes, the bat has totally different sense. Alligators, totally different sense. Their realities are totally different. So, who's to say that there isn't another creature, extraterrestrial, who has totally different senses, 6, 7, 8, 9 senses? They experience the world totally differently, and also like when you take mushrooms. I don't know if you guys are taking mushrooms.
Actually, we sober. We don't drink.
Ah, amazing. Okay, good for you guys. I am into fitness, but
just so you know. Just so you know.
Exactly. Just to put it straight, I don't do drugs. I smoke cannabis because I feel like it's medicinal, it's spiritual. But anyway, that's a story for another day. Anyway, so yes, okay. Who's to say there isn't another being that has totally different senses and
If you take mushrooms.
Yes, if you take mushrooms, you have an experience that is basically like the neurons in your brain are connecting in different ways than they do when you're sober. So you can see things, I believe, that they're not hallucinations per se. They are there. You're connecting in the quantum field, which is all kind, like I said, the bat, the alligator, the other beings, like in the quantum field, all of those experiences are happening, and everyone's perception in that quantum field is different. And what's my train of thought? What was the original question?
The aliens.
The aliens.
Yeah, but
so in the quantum field, they're definitely like we cannot be the only consciousness in the quantum field. So there's definitely spirits. There's definitely extraterrestrials. I believe that. Sure.
But you do realize at the same time, just going back on that, what's quite fascinating is we ourselves kind of put up what makes sense, you know. So then what to say that the stuff that don't make sense, we just can't observe.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like we only have...
I'm with you, but I'm not with you.
we only have this ability to perceive this. But objectively, who's to say that there isn't things that we just can't perceive?
Yeah, but interesting on that though, there's this one interesting read I had, and it had to do with this girl trying to communicate with a goldfish, alright?
Okay.
So the whole situation is that, the whole situation with that is she's communicating. She's telling goldfish, I'm bringing you food, I'm doing this, but it can't perceive or understand what she's saying. But it also has its own intellect and life, whatever, what it understands, right? So long story short, the whole situation is, what if we getting communication somewhere, we just do not interpret it?
100%. I agree.
See, goldfish story makes sense now.
It does.
It's the same with the dog and the cat and all those things.
But a dog can't talk back, but they understand.
No, but see, at least at that point, there is that barrier of communication. I mean, there is still, you can, like a dog sit. The difference is,
a dog and a goat.
No. So the story behind, if I break it down, but the story behind it, the meaning is the communication just doesn't come through. So I could be sending a message saying, "Hello there, can you observe us?" But you like can't interpret that. 100%. So you stand there with your satellite and whatever you put up in space, waiting for a message to come through, but you're never going to receive it because it does not come in the way you understand that it should come in.
I think that's good.
So that's crazy.
The same as like when people like speak to God, it's like, give me a message, give me a sign. In your mind, you have an idea of what that sign is. Mm-hmm. So because you're looking for that, you miss something else. Mm-hmm. You miss the smaller things. You're looking for something specific.
It's like that. This understanding that I have is like the guy wanted to go to sleep and asked God, can I please get
sleep,
diamonds and stuff like that kind of thing, And then he woke up and then he saw a shovel next to him. So it's type of thing, like in his mind
he expected the diamonds to be underneath the pillow.
Gave him a shovel
to go and do the work. Go and work. So what? So now I'm curious. We're going to the aliens. What other stuff out there that do you kind of believe in that people find out there?
So I consider myself a bit of a witch.
Oh, interesting.
How much stuff was
infinite possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Get your own personal term.
So I regularly communicate with my master's teachers and loved ones, which are they're spiritual entities, spirit entities. They're my ancestors, so to speak, my ancestors, my spirit guides, I don't know whoever they are, but they're like guardian angels, if you want to call them that. And I believe money I've recently been doing some work around money as a medicine, and I believe money has a spirit as well, because essentially money is an energetic exchange.
Yeah, from different. Okay, I'll get back to
that. Yeah, so money is an energetic exchange, so that money has a spirit as well, which I feel like you can speak to and manifests certain things, like healing your relationship with it. What else? Yeah, like I like to do some spell work.
Spell work?
Are you a good witch?
A good witch, yeah, a good witch. No dark magic, just like spell work, sigils. Have you heard of sigils? Yeah, so I do some sigils now and then. I like to light my incense and candles, do some prayers.
Sage. You're one of those that light sage.
Yeah.
So, but you don't believe in God, right? Like as in God religiously.
I do believe in God, but not in any a religious context, like Christianity or. Yeah, I don't, I believe, like what I said, the source, and that is God, and God is everything that is good and righteous and pure, and we have that inside of us. And we have the ability to allow God to lead our lives. So I definitely believe that, and I try to live my life like that through God. So I would definitely.
But I'm still more thinking to find out about the witch aspect.
So
how did you tell us about how you got involved in that? Like we did that stuff.
Like in our African aspect, we don't believe like white people have ancestors type of thing.
Yeah.
Not we don't believe like it's unheard of.
Yes. No.
So it's quite interesting that you kind of.
I felt like a lot of resistance to connecting with my ancestors purely because I have British bloodline, and that means I'm direct descendant of colonists, and that my ancestors essentially have done terrible things to Black and Indigenous people of color, and I felt a lot of guilt and shame around that, and I didn't want to connect with them because I was like, you are probably terrible people. So but I when it started like this healing journey in lockdown, and I was like, I need to connect, and I need to like take accountability for my bloodline and my lineage. Like that is the truth of where I come from, and I can't do anti-racism work or like be in the world as like the social justice activist that I want to be if I can't acknowledge my positionality within the world and like my heritage and stuff. So yes, but I think like just for the pure fact that we're human beings, we live here now, and people came before us. We all have ancestors, so to speak.
Yeah.
I think. Anyway. So where did this start? I've always been quite spiritual. Like it started in the nature thing when I was like connecting, just like energetically. I didn't have words to explain what it was, but I felt like God was in my life. And like I have strayed from time to time. Like everyone does. But now I feel like I'm like the closest that I have been to God, and very like deep in my spiritual practices. And so I think it came like I started meditating a lot, and then a friend introduced me to this company called Holisticism, and
Holisticism.
Yeah, it's like
how does one spell that word? Is it holistic and
holistic?
Holistic is
So holistic with ism within.
I feel like it's just a tongue twister for everyone right there.
Yeah, so it's realism and mysticism together, and basically they have this members community called the North Node. Highly recommend.
I love how you just push that movement through. Just push that movement through with excitement.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It's changed my life, and it's like this community of like-minded spiritual women, and the head, she calls herself the head witch in charge, Michelle Pelazon. She's a witch, and a good witch, and there's like a lot of workshops and master classes, like astrology and like how to connect your intuition, and like making an altar, which is kind of like the physical space of where you honor your ancestors and like commune or whatever you want to do, and like spell work and sigils. So I've learned everything through that platform, and the money as medicine thing as well. Yeah, so that's pretty much where I found it. I feel like it came at the perfect time, like because I was doing all this healing work, and I felt like I needed, when you heal, like I feel like you need your spirituality or your religion or like whatever your faith, and then this friend of mine just suggesting this, and then it just falling into place. I was like, that's God's working.
When anyone mentions witches, then the first thing I think of is the Crucible.
Okay.
Because that's the first time where, due to obviously forced English classes, is where we sat down and look, we're gonna do William Shakespeare. What is it? William Shakespeare? Is it William? No, it's not William. He didn't do the Crucible, no. But I can remember the author. But anyway, Crucible, So and then that was the whole introduction to the whole witches and covenant, because I mean, in our culture, whatever, it's more like witchcraft.
We believe witches are bad.
Witchcraft is its own thing.
It's the terms and trying to understand the different terms of all.
Everything's
So
what faith are you guys?
Islam. So now another question that I'll have in regards to that is then, because when you say witches, right, or you say the word witch, first thing that'll come through a lot of people's mind is like, oh, this dodgy stuff that's happening.
I hear you. There's definitely, as with all things, there is dark magic, and people, I'm pretty sure they like use it to like, I don't know, commune with bad spirits and like bad omens on people. But this what I do is not that at all. It's basically intuition. It's like setting intentions and like
no blood sacrifices, basically.
No blood sacrifices, At most, like, maybe some sage will get burnt, but that's about it.
Sage.
So since the healing worked for you, would you ever want to be like a spiritual healer yourself? Something
I think as I go to launch my coaching, I like everything that I do is spirit. That's why it's holistic. Like it's because it's like your physical body, your mind, your spirit. Like,
and isn't it crazy? Like everything you went through in your life kind of bring you to this one conclusion.
100%. Yeah, I hate that thing. Everything happens for a reason. Because I'm like, some shit is just trash, but it is like you get shaped and you grow and you go through certain things to deliver you essentially to your path and like your purpose, I think.
Oh, that's it on my questions, unless anyone has any.
Maybe a part 2.
This is awesome.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I know when I introduce myself, I have to introduce myself as
him and her.
No.
I love that. No, it's not. Quick on the defense.
He's and her. How about
that? But thank you, Cheri. Thank you.
Cheri, we appreciate you coming through. Any last words you want to tell?
But I want give words, whatever you wanna out there.
Also tell them what you're planning on, and
cool. So, I will be launching my holistic health coaching services very soon. Definitely this year, within the next few months. So follow me on IG, shameless plug. It's at Cheri _Morris. Shameless plug. No, that's just that's like me advertising myself. It's a shameless plug. My Instagram handle is at Cheri _Morris _wellness. And you'll find everything you need to know right there.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, yeah, so
you didn't speak about the fitness, eh?
No, she did. He's probably going to the dancing.
No. I actually wanted to ask you, like the captions you put on your pictures and stuff, right? You said you're a writer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it everything? So you a writer where everything you write is based on your life and experiences, or you a writer where sometimes you add a bit of spice?
Yes.
No.
He's asking this fiction work. It's a good question.
I'm into non-fiction. Everything I write is true to the absolute 100%. Yeah, I'm very authenticity and genuinity is at the center of everything I do, and I tell my stories so that other people who don't have the words or they don't feel seen, they can see themselves in my previous self.
And the thing is that like everybody on Instagram or just social media, it's all about like no one actually speaks the truth, like the real truth that is happening, and seeing things like that on your Instagram is kind of a different route and something that is different and inspiring, if I should say.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's why I said you add value, that's why I had to come
the podcast.
I mean, there is a sense of vulnerability for someone to go and, speak of themselves like that.
Yeah.
And also it's good that you actually explain all the different terms for people. There's so many terms that are, people, just thrown loose and people just use it out the sense of knowing what it actually mean. You know what I mean? So hopefully they got something out of it and now they know how to differentiate between this and that and use it in the right context. Because there's a very few actually know what the stuff mean and when to use it in that context.
No, I totally feel you, and I want to do a series on Instagram actually, like term of the week.
I think so. Things like that help, because people get to share it.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm all about educating and being
like
real.
A poll and type of thing on Instagram.
Definitely do that.
Would be cool.
Excelente. Yeah, and with that being said, thank you for watching another episode of the Cuts Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and give down your thoughts on today's podcast.
Yes, sir.
Yes.